I just said that China's state TV network, or China's central TV, wasn't kind to Xi Jinping at all for his upcoming zodiac year. Well, Xinhua News Agency wasn't nice to him either. On January 13th, the president of the Supreme People's Court, Zhang Jun, hosted the National High Court President's Conference. The event's press release was posted on the Supreme Court's website, and it credited the Supreme Court's achievements to the strong leadership of Xi Jinping. It also emphasized placing learning and practicing Xi Jinping thought as the top priority for the new year. The press release on the court's website mentioned Xi Jinping's name 6 times. However, in Xinhua's official news report, Xi was mentioned only once. On the same day, China's chief prosecutor, Yong, hosted a similar conference with the national chief prosecutors in different regions. On Yong's website, the Supreme People's Prosecutor's official website, the event's press release mentioned Xi Jinping's name 7 times, pledging loyalty to Xi with standard cookie-cutter phrases. However, Xinhua News Agency mentioned Xi Jinping only once in its report of the event. Now, both Zhang Jun and Yong are close allies of Xi Jinping, so their agencies' official websites are expected to be filled with pledges of loyalty to Xi. However, Xinhua News Agency's deliberate toned-down treatment of Xi in the news report is a diversion from the past practices and is certainly noteworthy. On January 9th, the Ministry of Veteran Affairs official website reported on the National Conference of Directors of Veteran Affairs. Xi Jinping was mentioned 10 times with all the standard expressions of loyalty, such as the 2 establishes, the 4 consciousness, 4 confidences, and 2 safeguards. These are just standard jargons to pledge loyalties to Xi. However, the military news outlet carried the same story with only 2 mentions of Xi Jinping. Also, during the January 2nd New Year's military training kickoff, people noted that there's a stark difference from the past. Xi Jinping was not mentioned at all. In previous years, Xi Jinping personally issued the training order to kick off the training for the year with lengthy reports highlighting his role, his requirement on the troops to pledge allegiance to him. This year, the reports from CCTV, from various military units, from the regional armed forces omitted the mentioning of Xi Jinping. So these omissions are particularly striking given Xi's past dominance in the party and the military. So some speculate that Xi's position in the military is being challenged. The trend of diminishing personal glorification for Xi in major party media outlets send a clear signal that his power has waned. The Central Political and Legal Work Conference was held in Beijing from January 12th to the 13th, but General Wang, being the commander of the armed police force, was absent. It was the 4th time General Wang was absent from major events, and it has sparked speculation that he's under investigation. The rumor about General Wang's trouble started when he was absent for the first time on November 21st during a national public security video conference. Subsequently, Wang missed the promotion ceremony of the new Army Political Commissar, General Chen Hui, when all the generals were in attendance except him. And then he also missed the Central Commission for Discipline Inspections meeting. And last week's absence was the 4th event that he missed, and he indirectly confirmed the rumor that the general has been sacked. The 61-year-old general is far from retirement age, and he previously served as the commander of the Beijing garrison. He's the son of Wang Yongming, former deputy political commissar of the Nanjing military region. So he's considered a princeling in the PLA. His downfall signals a brutal political infighting in the PLA. Last but not least, let's talk about his most loyal follower, his political housekeeper in the party, Politburo Standing Committee member, and the man who whom the Trump team wants to meet, Cai Qi. So Cai Qi has been the target for criticism. Now we know Xi Jinping isn't coming to Trump's inauguration. Instead, he's sending the VP Han Zheng, who doesn't hold much political clout anymore, and is only a figurehead. The Trump team asked for Cai Qi. I think the Trump team wants to get a better feel of Xi Jinping's real thinking because Cai is the closest to him. But Xi Jinping didn't send Cai Qi. Well, it probably because the man isn't as powerful as before, or is a little in trouble. So on January 9th, the Politburo Standing Committee held an all-day meeting to hear work from National People's Congress, the State Council, the Chinese People's Political Consultative Conference, the Supreme People's Court, as well as work report from the Central Secretariat. The Central Secretariat is headed by Cai Qi, right? And then the meeting's communique affirmed the work of Zhao Luiji, chairman of the National People's Congress, Li Qiang, premier of the State Council, and Wang Huning, chairman of the CPPCC. However, Cai Qi, who is the head of the Central Secretariat, faced explicit criticism for his performance. A comparison of Xinhua's coverage of this year's meeting with last year's revealed changes in the language used to describe Cai Qi's work at the Central Secretariat. In last year's communique, the Secretariat was described as proactive in its actions, conscientious in fulfilling its duties, and effective in its extensive work. These three adjectives are absent this year. The lack of such affirmations makes it obvious that his work fell short of expectations and has failed to earn recognition. The final paragraph of this year's communique underscores the critique by emphasizing that the Central Secretariat must, quote, enhance its political capabilities, focus on implementing key tasks, strictly strengthen its self-discipline, and complete all tasks assigned by the party Central Committee with high quality in the new year. So the subtext here points to deficiencies in Cai Qi's political capabilities, his failure to implement key tasks, and his substandard work quality. So the communique used the meeting as the subject in its report. So it says things like the meeting believed, the meeting emphasized. They didn't use Xi Jinping as the subject. So it's very obvious. This shift highlights that the criticism of Cai Qi was presented as a collective decision by the Politburo Standing Committee and not Xi Jinping's opinion alone. So this rare public critique of the Central Secretariat reflects internal criticism or dissatisfaction towards Cai Qi from the rest of the leadership. We know all of Cai's power came from Xi Jinping, but this open critique of his work or him is a direct reflection of Cai's weakened position in the Politburo Standing Committee, as well as Xi Jinping's weakened power or waned power in the leadership.